Now we'll briefly talk about Section 8.3, which is the organizational structure. Now, an organization is a system of consciously coordinated activities or forces of two or more people. There are three types of organizations classified according to the three different purposes for which they are formed. And we've talked about these before: for-profit, non-profit, and mutual benefit. If you'll recall that for-profit organizations are formed to make money or profits by offering products or services. Non-profit organizations are formed to offer services to some clients, not make a profit. And lastly, the mutual benefit organizations are voluntary collectives whose purpose is to advance members' interests. Now, whatever the size of the organization, it can be represented in an org chart or organization chart. A boxes and lines illustration showing the formal lines of authority and the organization's official positions or division of labor. There are two kinds of information that org charts reveal about organizational structure, and that is the vertical hierarchy of authority, who reports to whom, and the horizontal specialization, who specializes in what work. The vertical hierarchy, who reports to whom, is the chain of command, and the horizontal specialization, who specializes in what work, shows the different jobs or work specialization. 8.4 discusses the major elements of an organization, and the organizations have 7 elements, and they are listed here. The common purpose unifies its employees or members and gives everyone an understanding of the organization's reason for being. The coordinated effort is working together for a common purpose. The common purpose is realized through a coordinated effort, the coordination of individual efforts into a group or organizational-wide effort. Individuals cannot do everything by themselves. Third, we have the division of labor, also known as work specialization, which is the arrangement of having discrete parts of a task done by several different people. Now, with division of labor, an organization can parcel out work effort to be performed by specialists, resulting in greater efficiency. Next, we have the hierarchy of authority, or the chain of command, and this is just a control mechanism for making sure that the right people do the right things at the right time. You've probably seen slogans in different organizations similar to that. Authority is most effective when arranged in a hierarchy. Even in member-owned organizations, some people have more authority than others, although their peers may have granted it to them. Then lastly, we have the span of control or span of management, which refers to the number of people reporting directly to a given manager. And there are two kinds. A narrow span of control means a manager has a limited number of people reporting, and then a wide span means a manager has several people reporting. Our sixth one is authority, responsibility, and delegation. It's kind of line versus staff. With authority go accountability, responsibility, and the ability to delegate one authority. Authority refers to the rights inherent in a managerial position to make decisions, give orders, and utilize resources. Authority means accountability. Managers must report and justify work results to the managers above them. Being accountable means you have to have the responsibility performing assigned tasks. And with more authority comes obviously more responsibility, that obligation that you have to perform the tasks assigned to you. We also have a term here, delegation. This is the process of assigning managerial authority and responsibility to managers and employees lower in the hierarchy. Kind of not essentially passing the buck, but empowering others with the certain responsibilities. Let's take a look at this chart here. The org chart here distinguishes between two positions, both line and staff. Line managers, you might recall from previous lessons, have authority to make decisions and usually have people reporting to them. And these are indicated on the chart by a solid line. Then the staff personnel, which are indicated here on our chart by a dotted line, have advisory functions. They provide advice, recommendations, and research to those line managers. Then our seventh one here is centralization versus decentralization of authority. With centralized authority, important decisions are made by higher level managers. With decentralized authority, important decisions are made by the middle level and supervisory level managers. Now we move into 8.5, which is over basic types of organizational design. Organizational design is concerned with designing the optimal structures of accountability and responsibility that an organization uses to execute its strategies. Now, organizational designs can be categorized as traditional, horizontal, and designs that open boundaries between organizations. There are three types of organizational designs. Those are traditional, horizontal designs, and boundaryless design. We'll take a look at the first here, which is the traditional design, and this is also known as simple structure. An organization with a simple structure has authority centralized in a single person, a flat hierarchy, very few rules, and a low work specialization. This is a form often found in a firm's very early entrepreneurial stage. And you can see how simple this is. We have an owner, and then the owner has an admin assistant. That's it. That's the structure. Let's take a look at the next one here. The functional structure. It's kind of like grouping by similar work specialities or specialties. In a functional structure, people with similar occupational specialties are put together in formal groups. This is seen in all kinds of organizations, such as for-profit as well as non-for-profit agencies. And looking at our diagrams here, you see we have two different businesses or organizations, but they have the same type of structure. We have one person at the top, and then we have people grouped together in formal groups based on their specialties. And then we have our divisional structure, and this is kind of grouping by similarity of purpose. In a divisional structure, people with diverse occupational specialties are put together in formal groups by similar products or services, customers or clients, or geographical locations. Lastly, 8.6, the last part of our chapter, is contingency design, factors in creating the best structure. Now, there are 4 factors to be considered in designing an org structure. The process of lifting the organization to its environment is called contingency design. Managers take a contingency approach must consider the following factors in designing the best kind of structure for their particular org at that time. You have environment, which is the mechanistic versus organic. We have environment, which is differentiation versus integration. We also have to think about the life cycle and link between strategy and structure. Now, in a mechanistic organization, authority is centralized. Tasks and rules are clearly specified, and employees are closely supervised. In an organic organization, authority is decentralized. There are fewer rules and procedures, and networks of employees are encouraged to cooperate and respond quickly to unexpected tasks. Now, instead of mechanistic organic dimension, Paul Lawrence and Jay Lorsch proposed a differentiation integration dimension, forces that impel the parts of an organization to move apart to come together. The stability of the environment confronting the parts of the organization determines the degree of differentiation or integration that is appropriate. Differentiation is the tendency of the parts of an organization to disperse and fragment. This impulse towards dispersal arises because of technical specialization and division of labor. As a result, specialists behave in a specific, delimited ways without coordinating with other parts of your organization. Integration is the tendency of the parts of an organization to draw together to achieve that common purpose of the organization. In a highly integrated organization, specialists work together to achieve a common goal rather than having that division of labor. The means for achieving this are formal chain of command, standardization of rules and procedures, and use of cross-functional teams and computer networks, so there is a frequent communication and coordination of all the parts to work together and be integrated. Lastly, we talk about the 4 stages in the life of an organization, or an organization's life cycle. We have the 4 stages of that being the birth stage, youth stage, midlife stage, and maturity stage. An organization will move through these steps. It becomes larger and more mechanistic, specialized, decentralized, and bureaucratic. There are different managerial challenges and different organizational designs in each of these stages. So make sure you look over each of those. Um, Essentially, the birth stage is the non-bureaucratic stage, the stage in which the organization is created. We move to stage 2, the use stage. The organization is in a pre-bureaucratic stage, a stage of kind of growth and expansion. Once we get to the midlife stage, stage 3, the organization becomes bureaucratic. A period of growth is evolving into an area of stability. And stage 4, the maturity stage, the organization becomes very bureaucratic, large, and mechanistic. Now, a danger at this stage is we might have a point where there's a lack of flexibility and innovation. Some expanding companies hold on to pre-bureaucratic way of life too long, hindering their ability to deliver goods or services efficiently. Well, that's it for Chapter 8 over Organizational Culture, Structure, and Design. Hopefully you can take this information along with what you're reading and the tasks you're performing and be able to see how you can apply some of this information or perhaps fall back on some previous experiences and realize some of these aspects from the book. Thank you for joining, everyone, and I'll see you in the next chapter.